Jim, you have 2 minutes.
I'm Jim Bowman. I'm from Kirkland, Washington. And I would like to thank the FCC and Kevin Martin, you in particular, for coming to Seattle on such short notice. A 100 years ago, I was a political science major at UC Berkeley, and I'm really glad to see that the free speech movement is alive and well in Seattle. Al Gore, in his new book, The Assault on Reason, writes that the large conglomerates are apparently sometimes tempted to bend their news programming choices to support the achievement of commercial objectives. The news divisions, which used to be seen as serving a public interest and were subsidized by the rest of the network, are now seen as profit centers designed to generate revenue and sometimes to advance the larger agenda of the corporation that owns them. General Electric, does that sound familiar? They have fewer reporters, fewer stories, smaller budgets, less travel, fewer bureaus, less independent judgment, more vulnerability to influence by management, and more dependence on government sources and canned public relations handouts. He goes on to say, the movie Network, winner of the Best Screenplay Oscar in 1976, was presented as a farce, but was actually a prophetic warning of the dangers of transforming news, which plays such an important role in our democracy, into profit-driven entertainment programming.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Hello, I'm Jamin Shively. I'm partner manager for Microsoft's online advertising syndication business and also an internet entrepreneur. Big media has not fulfilled its crucial democratic function of challenging and debating the decisions, actions, and statements of the ruling powers in the federal government. Thank you. Why? And this is one key part of it. There are other answers, but one key part is because of big media's size. The sheer size, profitability, and organizational dynamics of the huge enterprises which constitute big media, including my own employer, make them particularly prone to content manipulation and filtering through ownership, big budget advertising, and other mechanisms, especially by certain key industries, most notably the oil industry and the military-industrial complex. Just take a look at what big media has done, or rather not done, relative to the irrefutable facts which have resulted in the deaths of over 1 million innocent Iraqi civilians since 2002. Fact number one, George W. Bush took office in 2001 after losing both the electoral vote and the popular vote. Fact number two, the decision to invade and occupy Iraq was made based on blatant lies put forth by the President, Vice President Cheney, Secretary of State, and other leaders. Fact number three, as a direct result of the U.S. invasion and occupation of Iraq, over 1 million innocent Iraqi civilians have been killed. Fact number four, despite these blatant crimes and an abundance of evidence, there is no discussion of impeachment of Bush in Congress. Big media reports none of these facts, much less delves into their analysis. To the contrary, they portray George W. Bush as moral, conscientious, caring human, much as the German media portrayed Hitler during World War II.
Thank you, Mr. Shively. Scott Michaels.
Hello.
Scott, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for taking the time to come to Seattle and have these hearings. I feel a little bit out of my element because I'm a broadcaster, and so I'm a little pro-broadcaster because, that's my job. But I want to talk a little bit about research. That was a word we heard earlier from one of the panelists, and what research really means. I've been working in 10 different markets, 10 different radio stations in the past 10 years. And we've done research at almost every single one of our stations, and that simply is asking the community, what do you want? What do you want out of your radio station? And while research has kind of gotten a bad rep, I feel like here in Seattle, the ability of our radio group to own multiple stations has given us those resources to do research. I can honestly say, being involved in the budgeting process for our stations, if we did not own 3 different broadcast outlets, our research budget would be cut dramatically and may not even exist. So while research is certainly objectionable to some, we believe it is what makes us local and what gives us our local importance. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Scott. Lila Qatayef? Lila, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Lila Qatayef, and I'm here today as a youth media educator and an independent media maker. I'm a media educator with Real Girls because I think it's essential that youth have the knowledge to interpret the corporate media messages bombarding them, and the skills to add their diverse voices to an ever more monolithic media system. I became a media maker myself after I attended my first protest against the WTO in 1999. I saw for myself what happened in the streets that day, and then I came home and turned on the TV. And the corporate news I saw that evening turned me into a media activist because every single channel was telling the same false story. Thank you. My voice, the voice of the people, was completely cut out of the equation. Now I make media with Pepper Spray Productions, the video arm of the Seattle Independent Media Center. We work with minority-led community groups like the Seattle Young People's Project and the Community Coalition for Environmental Justice to cover their issues and events, ones that they don't see in the corporate media. We're grateful for public access TV outlets like SCAN for providing us with our own channels of distribution. But the truth is that all of the airwaves ultimately belong to us, the people, and we need more access, more distribution networks, more diversity of media ownership. Commissioners, I demand that you roll back the rules allowing for media consolidation and make the way for more independent media. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Qatayef. Blair Adamson?
Good evening. My name is Blair Adamson, and I'm the Program Associate for WashPIRG, the Washington Public Interest Research Group. We're a nonpartisan, nonprofit citizen advocacy organization with over 35,000 members across the state of Washington. WashPIRG works on a variety of public interest issues, including public health, consumer rights, good government, and campaign finance reform. The public's awareness of all of these issues is profoundly impacted by media ownership. When corporate media decides to shy away from an issue that might affect advertising revenue, the public discourse suffers, and the visibility of our crucial public interest issues is diminished. Much needed debate is stifled, and our citizenry is less informed. Now, in past years, we in the Seattle area have had access to more media outlets than many other cities, but that diversity has slowly eroded. And will change even further if rules around media ownership are relaxed. Now, in preparing for this hearing, I heard story after story from people who felt that local news coverage and content has decreased in recent years, and I've certainly experienced this trend as an advocate and organizer. There are fewer reporters and news sources covering state and local policy issue debates than in the past, and this is a direct result of consolidation. The number of independent voices is slowly but drastically reduced, meaning fewer viewpoints. And while corporate media has proved that they will always look out for their bottom line, we're asking that the FCC follow its mandate and look out for the public interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. David Griffith?